participants joining us from Europe, the Americas, and other parts of the world through Zoom as well as YouTube. On behalf of the UHV Foundation Delhi, in association with AICT, it's my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 10th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education. In this very first session, we all gathered to inaugurate this 10th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education. The lighting of the lamp symbolizes the awakening of knowledge, the illumination of values, and the continuity of wisdom. May I now respectfully invite our esteemed dignitaries, Mentor Shri Rajendra ji, Professor R.P. Mahapatra ji, Professor Dhaumya Bhatt ji, and Professor Kumar Sambhav ji for lighting of the lamp. Also invite Gopal Babu ji for lighting of the lamp, please. All please come forward for the ceremonial lamp lighting. Thanks, everyone. Request all to be seated on your place, please. This international gathering brings together voices of around 7,400 registered participants from 55 countries, reflecting a shared global commitment to value-driven education. Education that nurtures professional excellence along with ethical responsibility, human dignity, and harmony with nature. Here, I would like to share the timeless purpose of education, moving from ignorance to understanding and from fragmentation to harmony. May all be happy. May all be free from illness. May all see what is auspicious, and may no one suffer. This universal prayer transcends geography, culture, and time. It beautifully echoes the spirit of our conference, empowering youth through value-driven education for a happy and peaceful world. This timeless aspiration resonates strongly with the UNESCO vision of education for peace and sustainable development goals, particularly SDG 3, good health and well-being, SDG 4, quality education, SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and SDG 17, partnership for the goals. The theme of the landmark conference, empowering youth through value-driven education for a happy and peaceful world, is especially relevant in today's interconnected yet challenged world, where education must consciously contribute to peace, well-being, sustainability, and coexistence. The 10th ICHVHE is being organized as a 3-day worldwide virtual conference from 19 to 21st December 2025, designed to accommodate participants across global time zones. The conference includes keynote addresses, panel discussions, and seminars focusing on higher education, holistic health, sustainable development goals, school education, and counseling, providing both conceptual clarity and practical insights through institutional and individual sharings. It is now my honor to introduce the distinguished guest of honor, Professor S.T. Charan sir, Chairman, National Committee for Universal Human Values, AICT. Professor Charan is former Vice Chancellor and a key architect of integrating human values and professional ethics into engineering education across India. His leadership and contributions have significantly strengthened value-based education and institutional governance in this area of educational transformation. We now invite Professor Charan to kindly deliver the welcome address and share his inspiring vision with all of us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Namaste to all in this 10th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education, the present online and offline, Dr. R.P. Mahapatra ji, Dean SRM, IST Delhi, NCR Campus Ghaziabad, Professor Amita Dev, Advisor, AKG Engineering College, Professor Dhomia Bhatt ji, Rajul Astana ji, Kumar Sambhav ji, Gopal Babu ji, other members present here. I'm really very happy to be a part of this conference, and I feel honored to be a part of this session. I'm really very much delighted to welcome you all. Our very large number of more than 5,000 delegates from almost 55 countries and almost 2,500 students registered for this conference. I welcome all this for this very important conference of value education. I really thankful to the organizing partners, 36 in number. Of course, much more could have been the part of it. So these partners has made this conference very easier. Particularly, I welcome the national sponsor AICTE, which has made this global recognition, particularly the chairman of the AICTE, Professor T.G. Sitaramji, and to host institutes, SRM, IST, Ghaziabad, and whole of the SRM team, including their management, owner, vice chancellor, faculty members, and all those who have made this conference very important and successful. And similarly, AKG Engineering College, their owner, Professor R.K. Agarwal sir, Professor Amita Dev ji, Professor Hemant Ahuja ji, and all the faculty members of AKG Engineering College and UHE volunteers. Their contribution has certainly brought this conference to this level. So I welcome all of you with whole heart. With this all such a large number of gathering really speaks that your interest in this conference. So I welcome all of you. As you know, our aspiration of all of us to have a happy and peaceful life within ourselves and in the society. But situation is not like that. Rather, there is an increase in human-to-human relationship. I can say human-to-human relationship is on the lowest level. At the same time, there is an escalation imbalance in the nature and the environment. During this conference, of course, we will be together deliberating the root cause of this and how this gap can be fulfilled through education. In next 3 days, of course, we all will be having discussion, sharing, and exploration on the conference. Very theme is empowering youth through value-driven education for happy and peaceful world. And with this, of course, our aim to achieve this aspiration that the fulfilling of happiness in the society. This conference and workers, all the volunteers who are engaged in this very important task of well-being of the society are working on pro bono basis without expecting any award and reward, with the strong support of government and other regulating body, social organization all across India and Bhutan. If you see the current status of implementation, then this UHP has been introduced at more than 4,000 institutes in higher education across 39 states in India and in Bhutan. Over 2,000 schools in Madhya Pradesh, some villages in UP and Madhya Pradesh has also practices this in their families and in the larger society. Bhutan Institute of Wellbeing has experimented this concept from the youth who are otherwise being engaged in drugs and other activities. This UHP experience is such a extreme situation, that is to say in jail, where the experience of pupil has been certainly shown to be encouraging, that jail inmates have also appreciated this concept of UHB, and that can be instrument to change their life. And these results are very much encouraging as such in the all walks of life. Most recently, AICT has declared 71 UHB nodal center and potential nodal center to augment reach this human values all around the nation. I really sincerely congratulate these centers and expect that their efforts will be reaching each and every institute in their region, so that the purpose of this value education can be really realized all over the country and the world. The government of Rajasthan has also decided to use UHV in high school. Orientation of principals has been started. Almost 300 principals has been oriented for this work, and work is in continuation. In this conference, we intend to share some of these experiences also. If you want to tell about who we are, who are working this work tirelessly, we are a team of vice chancellors, deans, faculty members, policy makers from different technical and non-technical institutes, and some individuals who are doing this work for the purpose of well-being of the society, considering it to be their responsibility or duty toward the society on pro bono basis, without the expectation of any award or reward. Our vision is clear that the very purpose of life is to have an individual goal as fulfilling, happy and prosperous life, and that too in continuity. And to resolve this, we want to find the root cause of this, so as to have a human society where well-being of each and everyone is to be ensured, and that will continue from one generation to another generation. And for completement of this vision, our mission is that this UHB is to be brought to the mainstream of education, so that they will be having holistic development and value-based education throughout the world. To achieve this, the guidelines have been decided that what is to be brought to the education is based on 4 pillars. One, whatever is to be brought to the society, what is to be taught to the student, it should be uniform. Universal means it should not be time dependent, place dependent, or the person dependent. It should be free from caste, creed, ling, everything. Then at the same time, it should be rational, not to based on do and don'ts. Similarly, it should be verified. When we adapt it, imbibe ourselves, then it can be verified by ourselves. And fourth, after having verified on this, this should be applicable to all encompassing, and with this, it will lead to a harmony in life. So with this all four pillars, universal, rational, verifiable, and leading to the harmony in the nature, such a parameter has been decided and brought to the education. Now with this international conference is a annual event. It has started in 2012 at IIIT Hyderabad. Then in 2013 also it was held in IIIT Hyderabad. In 2014 it was conducted at PTU Kapurthala. In 2015 it was held at Gedu in Bhutan. 2016 it was Amitya Group of Institutes, Rajkot, where the title was further clear that this very undivided family, universal human values or universal human order. Then in 2017, it was IIT Kanpur, Vision for Human Education. In 2018, it was again Bhutan. 2019, it was ITBHU, Banaras. Then from 19 to 2024, it was a period of COVID, so it could not be conducted. Then in 2024, it was again conducted at SRM Chennai. And this is, of course, 10th conference, which is being held today for 3 days. As it rightly mentioned in the beginning that it will cover a large number of keynote addresses, and at the same time there shall be panel discussion on 3 major topics: human values in higher education, holistic health, and sustainable development goals in detail. At the same time there will be experience sharing in school education and other counselings, and the experience of various institutes and the individual will also be discussed in the conference. With this all has been made possible with the tireless work of more than 500 volunteers in higher education, more than 200 volunteers in the school education, and that all has brought to this stage. Finally, I sincerely thank and appreciate the efforts and the support of all the sponsors, particularly AICTE, AKG Engineering College Ghaziabad, SRM, NCR Campus Ghaziabad, and large number of other sponsors to bring this conference to this level. So again, I thank all of you and hope that this conference will be very much useful to each and everyone, every member from every country, and they certainly will bring this outcome of this conference to this their country for the well-being of all. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Charan sir. With a strong commitment to societal impact, qualitative growth, and research excellence, Professor Charan is not only taking initiatives for Indian universities, but a beacon of value-based education, national transformation, and global relevance. Hearty wishes, sir. The next invitation is extended to our esteemed guest of honor, Professor Rajendra Prasad Mahapatra, Dean, SRM IST Ghaziabad. He is a distinguished academician and administrator, recognized for leadership in engineering education, research, mentoring, and the promotion of ethical and social responsible professionals practices. That is his keen area. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Good evening to all of you, respected Professor S.T. Charan, Chairman NC USPST, Professor Anil T. Sahasrabudhe, Honorable Chairman NAAC NBA, the Luke and Luton GS2, President CLCS Bhutan, Sri Rajul Asthana Ji, Chairman USP Foundation, Dr. Kumar Sambhav, Dr. Gopal Babu, Professor Damya Bhatt, esteemed dignitaries, law academicians, reward spiritual thinkers, industry leaders, dear faculty colleagues, and my students, a very warm, respectful, and heartfelt welcome to each one of you to the SRM IIT campus. It's indeed a moment of great honor and pride for SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Delhi campus, to host the 10th International Conference on Human Value in Higher Education. This conference is not merely an academic gathering, it is a collective commitment to re-establishing the essence of human value, ethical understanding, compassion, and purposeful education in our institution and in society at large. Education today stands at a decisive crossroads. On one hand, we witness unprecedented advancement in the science, technology, innovation, and globalization. On the other, we face growing challenges of stress, competition, intolerance, erosion of empathy, and disconnect between material progress and human well-being. This conference becomes profoundly meaningful because it urges us to pause, reflect, and ask a very fundamental question. Are we only preparing skilled minds, or are we nurturing responsible, compassionate, and value driven human beings? Human values such as trust, respect, integrity, responsibility, empathy, humility, and harmony have always been the bedrock of Indian civilization. Our ancient wisdom has always taught us that knowledge becomes complete only when it is guided by values and leads to inner strength, societal harmony, and sustainable development. Higher education, therefore, must go beyond degree, placements, and rankings. It must shape personalities, build character, and inspire lives. This conference brings together global thought leaders, visionary academicians, policymakers, and practitioners from India and across the world. We are privileged by the presence of our esteemed chief guest, Professor Anil D. Sahasrabudhe online, whose leadership and contribution towards transformational education inspires us deeply. We are equally honored to have with us Sri Vishal Sharma from UNESCO, Paris, representing global commitment towards peace, harmony, inclusion, and quality education for all. We feel blessed to welcome Lupen Luksta Yensto from Bhutan, representing a country that beautifully integrates happiness, spirituality, culture, and values within its development framework. Your wisdom and perspective enrich this platform and guide us towards a more meaningful educational future. Though this 3 days conference, we aim to explore how higher education can foster ethical leadership and responsible citizenship. Time integrated values, life skills, emotional intelligence, and character building into curriculum, promote inclusivity, equality, gender sensitivity, environmental consciousness, and societal responsibilities. Bridge the gap between the knowledge and wisdom, intellect and compassion, achievement and purpose. At SRM IS Delhi NCR campus, We strongly believe that education is complete only when it ignites curiosity, instills confidence, nurtures humanity, and empowers students to serve society. Our institution is committed not only to academic excellence, but also to developing emotionally strong, socially aware, and ethical grounded individuals. I'm confident that the deliberations, discussions, and reflections in this conference will pave the way for new ideas, policies, and frameworks that can transform our classroom, institution, and ultimately our world. Let this conference strengthen our resolve to make education more human, meaningful, and value-centric. India's timeless wisdom, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. India offers a powerful philosophical response to today's global crisis through the ancient principle of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. Let's live it, teach it, and pass it on. If you see the Gurukul Parampara, education with the values, India's Gurukul Parampara was a holistic education system where students learn not only subject but also discipline, humility, service, self-control, respect for nature and humanity. On behalf of the SRM Delhi NCR campus, I extend my deepest gratitude to all our distinguished guests, organizers, speakers, participants, faculty members, and volunteers who have worked tirelessly to make this prestigious conference a reality. Let's together reform that knowledge with values creates wisdom, and education with humanity creates a better world. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thanks, Dr. Mahapatra. We express our sincere gratitude for your inspiring words of wisdom. Now we invite our respected guest of honor, Professor Amita Dev, Advisor Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. Professor Dev is eminent educationist and former Vice Chancellor, known for visionary leadership, academic reforms, and deep commitment to ethical and value-based higher education. You are most welcome, ma'am. Amita, ma'am.
Yeah. Namaskar. Good evening to everyone. Members of this
Network issue is there, ma'am, on
international
your side.
and national delegate, same. Okay. Am I audible or no? Can you hear me?
Your voice is still little cracking.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, better now, ma'am. Yes.
Is it better now?
Yeah, better, ma'am. Please
Okay.
continue.
Yes. So it's absolutely my great honor and proud privilege to address the 10th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education, organized under the visionary leadership of AICT and UHB Foundation. I sincerely congratulate the organizers for consistently creating a global platform where education is discussed not merely as a system of instruction, but as a process of human development. Today, when we deliberate on human values, we are in fact deliberating on the future of humanity itself. Human values, the core of education. Frankly speaking, education at its deepest level is not about information transfer or merely skill acquisition alone. It's about understanding oneself, one's purpose, and one's relationship with society and nature. Human values provides clarity on what is truly valuable in life, how to live with harmony and responsibility, how to align personal aspirations with societal well-being. I remember a quote of Swami Vivekananda who said, education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. India's development context, it is all the more important that we lay great emphasis on value education. Why? One of the foremost reasons we are the fastest growing economy, a global hub for engineering talent, digital services and innovation, a home to the world's largest youth population. Yet, rapid development brings complex challenges. And now, what are those challenges? Day in and day out, we see rising stress and mental health concerns, ethical dilemma in professional and personal life, social fragmentation despite digital connectivity, development without value risk becoming a directionless growth. Mahatma Gandhi ji very rightly said, education which does not mold character is absolutely worthless. And in this context, I say human values is not only a choice, but it is a necessity. Holistic education prepares students not only for careers, but for life. It nurtures right understanding, emotional intelligence, ethical decision making, respect for diversity and nature. Technical skills help students learn a livelihood, but it's all human values which help them live meaningfully. And I say the right purpose of the life, lifelong learnings. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam rightly observed and said, education without values, as useful as it is, makes man a more clever devil. If we look at in today's era, the Gen Z, they don't live only in the physical space, rather they spend more time on the digital space. So technology is something they are living, and these are the defining moments. But technology also amplifies our intentions, priorities, and values for its creators. Today, we all witness AI shaping decisions, algorithms influencing human behavior, digital platforms redefining relationships, automation transforming employment. The future of technology depends upon the values embedded in human minds. AI, ethics, and digital human values. Ever since we have seen on the cybersecurity space and in the AI space, day in and day out, where the Gen Z and the youngsters are there, it poses a lot of threat. And we have to have a digital human values paradigm as well, which demands responsibility over blind automation, transparency over opacity, empathy over efficiency, and sustainability over short-term gains. In today's era, value education must consciously and explicitly focus on ethical AI, transparent and explainable AI, values and ethics in algorithm decision making, and responsible conduct in the digital world, which I feel is one dimension needs to be added in the human values. In AKGC, we are translating the vision into institutional practices. At AKGC, we have taken numerous initiatives, which starts from institutionalized urban values education, faculty as catalyst for value education, technology with ethics, student engagement and campus culture, which is blended very nicely with value-based induction programs, and so on and so forth. And I take this opportunity before I conclude. I extend my best wishes to all the organizers and the participants. I am confident that this conference will bring deep, inspiring, intellectually enriching, and igniting new thoughts, meaningful dialogue, a renewed commitment to integrate human values in higher education domain and in emerging technologies. May the deliberations over these days translate into lasting insights, responsible actions, and collective progress towards a more human, ethical, and sustainable future. Before I conclude, I would like to conclude with the words of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. If a nation is to be great, it must be built on strong moral values. Let us collectively ensure that human values remain at the heart of higher education, guiding technologies, AI, and innovation towards the well being of all. I once again take this opportunity for inviting me and sharing my thoughts on this. May this conference witness a huge success. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Bharat. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It's truly heartening to listen to you, ma'am. And we are deeply enriched by your words of wisdom. Thanks a lot. We now have the distinct honor of inviting Professor Anil T. Sahasrabudhe, a visionary educationist and thought leader, to address this esteemed gathering. Professor Sahasrabudhe is Chairman, National Educational Technology Forum, NAAC and NBA, and is nationally respected academic leader guiding quality assurance, accreditation, and technology-enabled transformation in higher education. Professor Sahasrabudhe has consistently championed value-based education and institutional excellence. Since the testing times of COVID-19 pandemic, as former chairman AICT, his guidance continues to shape the future of Indian higher education with a focus on quality, innovation, and universal human values. Heartfelt welcome, sir. May we have message of Professor.
A very good morning, good evening to all of you all over the world who have joined for this program. Respected Sri Lopen Longten Gyatso, who is joining from Arunachal Pradesh and going to speak to all of you. Professor Sanjay Dhande, Director of IIT Kanpur. Earlier and now after retirement, he is actively involved in education and other activities. Ambassador Vishal Sharma, who is a permanent ambassador to the United Nations living in Paris. He is also going to speak to all of you. And most importantly, Ganesh Bagaria ji, Rajul Asthana ji, Professor Charan ji, Dr. Upasana Mishra ji, Deans Dr. Mahapatra and Dhaumya Bhatt from this particular institute who are organizing this event, that is SRM IST campus in NCR region. Professor Amita Dev, I would like to talk about slightly history of how we started off with this Universal Human Values program. We already have Ganesh Bagaria ji and Rajul Asthana ji on in this particular program right now, but many others who have probably not joined now or maybe joining later in some of the sessions. I remember Professor Arora, who is National Coordinator for this Universal Human Values program, which we started in AICTE. And then Kumar Sambhav, Umesh Jadhav, and many other experts who have given their time and energy. I'm sure that the number has been growing. I don't know the present number, but last count was nearly 100 people who were volunteering to take this Universal Human Values course to the entire country. We started with AICT, but also UGC joined the bandwagon, and also all other colleges and universities are very excited about this program for a variety of reasons. When we started this program, based on the historical work that has been already done by Professor Gaur in IIT Delhi or Dr. Arora in Punjab Technical University and many others in UP Technical University, IIT Kanpur, IIT Hyderabad, BHU, and many other places. Some total of that was brought in the form of very robust universal human values courses, starting with the induction program, where many times students come from different backgrounds, different languages, different cultures, different economic status, and therefore, in order to get them all on board, we had a necessity of making this program which is valuable to each and every one of them, and create a sort of collaborative movement, ownership about the institution, and therefore started off with 3-week student induction program, which had a training for faculty members to conduct this program for about a week's duration. And when the pandemic broke out, instead of stopping or closing, we continued this in an online mode. And today we are able to hold an international convention of this sort on an online mode. People from different parts of the world are able to join. I was reflecting even afterwards, having participated in all of this and then met many people in different parts of the world when we go for meetings in different universities globally. When we talk about universal human values, many times they say, what are these values? They keep asking a question. What are these universal human values? Then I was trying to even Google out and find out what are those possible values which can be considered as universal, which are not subject to state, subject to culture, language, country, geography, etc. And they are trust. We all want trust with each other. We want loyalty of people who work with us. We want respect from each other. If I want to get respect, I need to give respect. This is mutual. In the same way, we all aspire for getting love and affection from our dear and near ones. And also, many times when we are in some situation, we need to be empathetic. Empathy is also very important one, compassion. And then we want to help each other. And when we are in need, we seek help. And when we find someone is in need, we also provide help. Honesty and integrity are very important values. Everyone values them in education system, in business, in governance, in government, everywhere. We want honesty and integrity. We talk about justice. Whenever something is wrong on someone, we always anticipate that justice is done. That's why the courts of law exist and they all try to understand the actual case and then try to give justice to people. And we all are living on this planet which has limited resources. So everyone talks about protecting the environment, ecology. And therefore, the word used is coexistence. We live with nature. So nature is very, very important because it is the one which has provided us with oxygen, that is air, water, the soil which gives rise to, various crops and therefore food. And then finally, we are all today talking about net zero carbon, sustainability, sustainable development goals. So if you look at each one of them, these are universal. No one can deny that this is not important. And therefore, in various, constitutions or in law, we talk about rights, but very few people talk about duties and the responsibilities. And therefore, when we talk about universal human values, we have to certainly earn our rights. Rights are important. But our contribution to humanity in terms of our responsibility, our duties is also equally important. And therefore, if you look at the entire set of universal human values, if you count them, there may be 15 to 20 number. Maybe someone will give importance to something less and something more, but nevertheless, all of these are great values that everyone aspires that they should be there. But the next question, when we ask each and every one of them, you all are expecting all of this. Are you doing all of this? And the answer is slightly in the negative. They say, we know that this is the truth. This is what is required to be done, but I'm not following it myself. And therefore, instead of forcing any of these values which I mentioned, Universal Human Values Program, which was started in AICTE for student induction, and subsequently a large number of courses were developed, which led to also a minor in Universal Human Values. So course 1, course 2, course 3 like this. And all of this together can earn a degree in Universal Human Values. And today, if you go to industry, talk about aspirations of the people, most of the students who come for higher education, their aspiration is to get a job, good salary, good life. And that is fine, as long as you do all of this with ethics and integrity, there is no problem in earning money also. But how do you make use of it? Are you putting it to use in the right manner? Are you empathetic to people who need that factor of empathy? This is an important part which we cannot probably straight away teach, but in terms of the teachers or the gurus who practice all of these values, I'm sure children will learn from them. And you don't have to force anything on anyone. So the whole process of this learning in this course of human values is about self-introspection, reflection. And as I said, all these values, everyone agrees, but are you following? When they say no, how do you go inch by inch to start following it? It's a practice, not very easy. It is like penance. So each time when you get into this issue, you have to introspect whether I'm doing the right thing. And therefore, one of the famous statements of Mahatma Gandhi comes to mind all the time, that if you have to take a decision about any one particular individual or a person, you step in the shoes of that person. And then if the decision is taken, what did you feel? What do you feel? If you feel happy about it, that means that's the right decision. If you feel that if it was subjected to me, I'm not going to be happy about it, and therefore that decision has to be probably changed and then modified, and then get into that right shoes have to be worn by us. And therefore, defining all of this is very, very difficult. So what we start with is start with the relationships. Relationships between our colleagues, friends, teachers, relationship in the family, between yourself, your father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, your other siblings, maybe some of the closer relatives with whom, how do you behave, act? That is number one. Number two, after family, we go out into the society, and therefore our behavior in the society, our colony, our building, or where we are living, are we empathetic to each other? Are we helping each other when in need? I think this kind of development, when we start moving upwards from self, that is myself, from me to myself to we, and gradually development will start taking place, and that we gets enlarged. The scope of that will be from family to, as I said, immediate society, neighborhood, to the entire village, entire district, entire nation, and the globe or the planet as such together. And therefore, when they talk about sustainability comes in, sustainable development goals come in, we often remember one very famous statement which many people are now following, is that of the last man. Last man means the remotest man in the remotest village, maybe in the tribal place or in difficult area in mountains. Are we taking care of that particular person when we are taking any decision in terms of governance, in terms of our values, in terms of providing that education? And that is what is most important. So the aspiration is there for people living in cities, no doubt, but also for the people who are living in the remote areas. So how are we going to take care? And therefore, when we are discussing all these issues, fortunately, thankfully, we had a very important national education policy in India, which was launched in 2020 July. We have completed 5 years of it. Many of these things which we are talking about, providing holistic, all-round development of students, student-centric education, is all rooted in that particular policy. And national education policy talks about multidisciplinarity. That means how each of the disciplines touch each other. There is an overlap between different disciplines of knowledge, and therefore how do we connect the dots? Also, values which are ancient Indian civilizational values. We start with Guru Shishya Parampara. We had Gurukula system. We have the first of the universities of the world, Takshila, Nalanda, which started here in India. Subsequently, there were many universities in the modern times. But if you go back in history, all the students of the world who sought knowledge, who sought wisdom, they were required to come to Bharat. That was the only civilizational education system which existed. And therefore, how in our new national education policy, rootedness is brought about. Those all values which we are talking about as universal human values were sum and substance of the Gurukula system, holistic education, multidisciplinary education, and then promoting students through their talent, through their whatever qualities they have imbibed from the birth. Each one, Swami Vivekananda used to say that each one of us is born with some talent, some traits. How do teachers identify them and support and create finishing touches to that. That means honing of those skills are very, very important. And that is why in the national education policy, there is a big reform which was stated to be brought in of bringing all regulatory bodies under one umbrella. And that bill has been placed in the parliament only recently on December 15th by the Honorable Education Minister Sri Dharmendra Pradhan. And the name itself is very exciting, Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishthan. That means if we have to make our India, the country which we have sought independence in 1947, to be fully developed country, Viksit Bharat, by 2047, Viksit Bharat can come only through education. Because all other sectors, whether it is transportation, whether it is finance, whether it is industry, whether it is startups, all of them directly or indirectly get their benefit or get their sustenance or get their inspiration from the educational institution. What we learn here, we take it to the immediate next job or next profession that we follow. And therefore, educational institutes are the rock bed on which we create all of these values. And before we started this conversation, Ganesh Bagriyaji mentioned that seeds were sown about 7-8 years ago. More than of human values, and this sapling is slowly growing into a big banyan tree. And if you have to touch base, all the 50,000 colleges, all the 1,200 universities, first in India, and then our goal should not be restricted to only, we want the survival of the planet, the happiness in the whole world. And therefore, we need to go beyond our borders, go to all other countries of the world. I'm sure wherever we have talked about this, people have appreciated. And therefore, there is a big responsibility on us who believe in the principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu to take this magnitude should be increased. We need both scale and speed. Speed and scale are very important. The volunteer force, which is developed to the extent of 100 volunteers who are selflessly, without any expectation, are creating this environment in different colleges and universities. We want probably 10-fold, 100-fold volunteers who will be able to take this forward. And many institutions are providing this support. They are all saying that we all believe in this. And one good thing is, when we did a third-party evaluation in terms of finding out what is the outcome, impact that this program has created, there have been stunning results. Many of the speakers later will talk about what is the impact that has happened. A simple impact which I have found is some of the institutions who were having trouble in terms of student unrest. We all know about Gen Z. They are impatient. They want quick results. And in such institutions where there used to be dharna strikes and the teachers and the head of the institutions were targeted, the institutions where this policy of universal human values is followed, where teachers and students interact like friends, where principal and HRDs will treat their faculty as their colleagues and friends, I'm sure the change has happened, transformation has happened, and there is no rift. There is only collaboration and collaboration. They all think about the institute as their mother, and therefore, how do we take this forward? How any difficulty which comes, we will solve it together. This is the spirit which has been imbibed in such institutions. And therefore, even minor problems of water shortage, electricity failure, or some issue happening in the college or university, they own the problem. They find out innovative solutions to that, and then give suggestion to the authorities that and authorities also respect the solution coming from the students. And it's not that I'm superior, I'm the professor, I'm the dean, I'm the HOD, I will dictate. It's not the thing. It's a collaborative understanding of each other. This is very, very important. That's why we have been talking about relationships here. And the relationship is supposed to be very, very cordial in such institutions, and that has brought rich dividends through the program. So when there are so many advantages, why should it not be spread? And I am only requesting all those who are attending this particular initiative today, this international conclave conference, to at least touch base, tell others. If you say that this is very good and you have to adopt it, maybe they may not like it. You are forcing on me because of my friendship, you are trying to put pressure on me. No. You tell that you attend 1 or 2 sessions. If you like, you continue. Otherwise, you can drop it out anytime. I am sure anyone who comes in this program on the first day, the first session, will not leave this session till the last session is over. And not alone that, I have seen in the past when we were in AICT, when we were asking in the last day, some of their experiences, some of the teachers who had a 20 years experience, 30 years experience, were in literally tears. They said, I have been teaching, I have been doing all this, I have been a serious, sincere teacher, but some of the things which I was supposed to do, I did not know. I learned through this program. And here, after whatever remaining 10, 15 years I have, I'm going to contribute very effectively, efficiently in the direction of creating these values amongst our students. That is creating the next generation of citizens. And therefore, planet will become a better place to live in through the efforts of all of these people. So my compliments to Ganesh Bagriya ji, our Rajul Asthana ji who are here. Also, I respect all the other experts who are going to teach in this particular session. All the other speakers whose experiences are going to be shared. My naman, namaste to all of them. And I'm sure this will become a big, grand movement in the direction of creating happiness on the planet. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. It's always energetic to hear you. And let me inform this forum as well as to you that it has indeed become a movement now, UHV has indeed become a movement now. Over 500 volunteers are there in higher education and 250 volunteers are working in school education. Around 1 lakh teachers are now oriented with UHV and they are in turn, they are orienting students where the number is reaching 10 lakh per year. So I'm sure you'll be happy listening this. Sincere gratitude to Professor Sahasrabudhe ji for sharing his immensely valuable insights on this precious occasion of 10th International Conference. Thank you so much. Extending the next invite to our distinguished guest of honor, Professor S.D. Dhande ji, former Director, IIT Kanpur. Professor Dhande is distinguished academic and institutional builder, widely respected for leadership in engineering education, policy guidance, and the advancement of excellence with integrity in higher education. We have received his message. Let's listen to him. Sir.
The title of my talk is The Compass Within. Think for a moment about a skyscraper. We admire the glass, the height, and the lights, but the only reason that building stands against the wind is the foundation buried deep beneath the earth, the parts we cannot see. I think the human values are the same. Human values are that foundation, that are invisible architecture of our lives. In a world that is changing faster than ever, driven by artificial intelligence, global shifts, and digital noise, our values are the only thing that remain constant. The North Star that guides us when the map of our lives gets blurry. How is the first school? Home is the first school that is important. Human values are nurtured, practiced at home, and that is where the human values get molded, which guide us throughout the lives as the North Star. What makes us human? What does we mean by human values? We aren't talking about our likes, dislikes, or personal tastes. We are talking about the universal principles that translates the culture, the glory, the religion, and the geography. The four important points to note at this point are the following. The first one is empathy, the ability to see the world through another's eyes. It is the bridge between me and you that creates us. This is very important. Second point is the integrity, doing the right things even when no one is watching. It is the alignment of our thoughts, words, and actions. The third thing is the respect, recognizing the internal inherent dignity of every person, regardless of their status or beliefs. The fourth and the most important part is the empathy in action, which is compassion. It is not just feeling for someone, it is the desire to alleviate that suffering. The crisis of modern age. We live in a high-tech, low-touch area. We are more connected than ever by fiber optics, yet many feel more isolated than ever. We have more information, but perhaps less wisdom. Why? Because we often prioritize success over character. We chase the resume virtues, the skills we bring to the marketplace, and forget the eulogy virtues, the things that people will say about us when we are gone. Values are not just nice to have ideas, they are survival mechanisms. When a society loses its values, it loses its trust. And without trust, economies fail, communities fracture, and the individual feels a deep sense of emptiness. Values are not destination, they are a practice. You don't possess honesty, you choose to be honest in a difficult moment. You don't possess encouragement or courage, you choose to stand up for someone when it is convenient or when it is inconvenient. Every day we face 100 small crossroads. Do I listen to understand or do I listen to respond? That is empathy. Do I take credit for work I don't do or do I share the spotlight? That is integrity. Do I scroll past someone's pain or do I reach out? That is compassion. The small choices are the bricks that build the house of our character. The call for action. As I conclude, I want to leave you with a challenge. Don't just believe in values, embody them. The world doesn't need more people who talk about peace. It needs more peaceful people. It doesn't need more people who discuss kindness. It needs more people who are kind to their neighbors, their colleagues, and themselves. Let's be the generation that integrates our technological brilliance with our human heart. Let's ensure that while our machines got smarter, our souls don't become colder. Hold on to your values. This is very important. They are the only things you can take with you everywhere and the only things that truly leave a mark behind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your blessings as well as guidance. We now have the honor of presenting the message of His Excellency Shri Vishal V. Sharma, Ambassador and Permanent Representative of India to UNESCO, Paris. Your Excellency, your presence at this international forum is a source of great inspiration. We look forward to your address, sir.
Namaste from the permanent delegation of India to UNESCO in Paris. Greetings to all the esteemed organizers, scholars, educators, and participants gathered for the 10th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education. being hosted by the Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad, and the Sri Ramaswamy Memorial Institute of Science and Technology. It is a pleasure to connect with you virtually as you explore one of the most important questions of our time on how to integrate human values into education in a universal, logical, verifiable, and truly humane manner. At the Permanent Delegation of India to UNESCO in Paris, we work actively to promote India's contribution in culture, science, and especially education on a global stage. It is our belief that education, when shaped by universal human values, becomes a powerful force for peace, harmony, and sustainable development. Across India's civilizational thought, education has always been more than the pursuit of knowledge or technical skills. It is a journey that shapes the clarity of thought, sensitivity in relationships, and responsibility towards society and the environment. This holistic understanding of education is deeply aligned with UNESCO's vision of learning that empowers individuals not only to know, but also to do and to live together. Today, our world faces challenges that transcend borders. These challenges remind us that education cannot be confined to information delivery alone. It must foster critical thinking, emotional balance, ethical reasoning, and the ability to engage with others with respect and empathy. A value-based education, when grounded in rationality and verifiable through the lived experience, helps students understand not just what to think, but how to think, and contribute meaningfully to the well-being of all, or Vishwa Mangala Hetave. The 10th ICH VHE lays emphasis on exploration. Human values, when approached as universal and experiential, become accessible to all learners. They can be examined, understood, lived, and validated in human relationships. This approach ensures that values move beyond classroom discourse and take root in behavior, decision-making, and social engagement. India's National Education Policy 2020, guided by the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, reflects this aspiration. The NEP 2020 places strong emphasis on holistic and multidisciplinary learning, character development, ethical reasoning, and resonates with the Indian ethos. It emphasizes on preparing learners to be global citizens and therefore inclusive and sustainable approaches to learning. Students should experience values in their interactions and conversations, thus making them not only their theoretical concepts, but also guiding principles for life. The conference's stated objective to promote holistic value-based education globally and foster a human society is both ambitious and essential. Achieving it will require collaboration across institutions and a commitment to innovation grounded in universal human values, or Ekatma Manavvad. Recalling my last year's remarks, I commend the organizers for sustaining this meaningful platform and creating a space for inquiry, reflection, and shared learning. I have taken note of the strides of your 2024 conference that was able to make on the international stage as well. As you engage in dialogue in this year's conference, I encourage you all to envision education as a transformative force capable of nurturing individuals who are knowledgeable, skilled, compassionate, and deeply connected to the world around them. The Ashirwad of Mother Saraswati is to be got through this holistic education. I extend my best wishes for a successful, enriching, and impactful conference. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Your Excellency, your message reflects India's deep commitment to value-based education, global cooperation, and UNESCO's vision of education for peace and human dignity. Thank you so much. One more message we received from Lopen Lungten Gyatso, a renowned scholar of Sanskrit and Buddhist philosophy, co-author of The Light of My Life, English Zonka English Dictionary, and several articles on philosophy, language, and culture. Sir is presently President, College of Language and Cultural Studies, Taksei, Bhutan. Sir, please.
Warm greetings from Bhutan. First of all, I would like to extend my best wishes and sincere appreciation to the organizers for successfully hosting this international conference. Today, as we reflect on universal human values, we are reminded of one of the most profound realizations any human being can have, that we ourselves are the source of both our happiness and our misery. In other words, we are the masters of our destiny. This insight has been deeply transformative for many who have engaged with UHV, for it redirects our attention from the external world to our inner landscape and ultimately helps us shape our character in a balanced and a mindful living. It helps us realize that true transformation begins from within. For much of our lives, we tend to believe that our well-being depends on the external circumstances, our success, relationships, possessions, and the behavior of others. But universal human values reveal a different truth. Our thoughts, emotions, and intentions shape the quality of every experience we have. When we understand this inner mechanism with clarity, we gain a powerful handle on our lives. We begin to see how anger arises, how fear forms, how compassion softens our actions, and how gratitude uplifts the heart. This clarity gives us something priceless: the ability to remain unsullied by the world outside. When the mind becomes clear and stable, outer turbulence no longer dictates our inner state. And this is where UHV becomes not just a concept, but a living practice. Just as a physical science laboratory allows us to experiment, test, and verify truths about the natural world, each of us carries an inner mental laboratory. This inner lab allows us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and intentions with high resolution and honesty. When we use this inner space to investigate what is happening within in real time, as events unfold, something extraordinary happens. We gain the freedom to choose our response. It is not given by laws, institutions, or society. It is born of inner awareness. For many around the world, and particularly here in Bhutan, since 2012, universal human values have proven transformative because they are not merely taught, they are practiced and lived. They translate directly into daily life, improving relationships, deepening self-understanding, cultivating emotional stability, and strengthening ethical living. And most importantly, UHV is not new to us here in Bhutan. These values resonate deeply with our gross national happiness, which is the development philosophy of Bhutan, because fundamental human values are by nature universal. Compassion, responsibility, integrity, respect, and mindfulness are not cultural inventions, they are human foundations. As we look ahead, we are exploring ways to make UHV more vibrant, more experiential, and more deeply integrated into our university educational ecosystem. The goal is simple yet profound: to cultivate individuals who are not only academically competent, but also emotionally grounded, socially responsible, and inwardly balanced, so that they can respond wisely to life's challenges and contribute meaningfully to society. Now, with AI coming in a big way, I think the future will not belong just to the most knowledgeable, but to the most grounded, ethical, resilient, and self-aware. Therefore, education, research, and innovation must be grounded in first-person inquiry, treating the mind and heart as the vital frontiers of exploration. If we can strengthen this inner clarity both individually and collectively, we can build institutions grounded in compassion, communities rooted in understanding, and nations guided by wisdom and values. Universal human values remind us that personal transformation is the foundation of social transformation. When human beings change from within, the world outside changes naturally. Let us therefore commit ourselves to nurturing the inner space, strengthening our inner laboratories, and allowing the timeless wisdom of UHV and of gross national happiness values to guide the world way forward. Lastly, but certainly not least, I would like to extend my heartfelt wishes to the organizers for a successful, enriching, and impactful conference, one that continues to inspire the world toward a more holistic vision of human development, where intellectual growth, emotional well-being, ethical responsibility, and inner transformation move forward hand in hand, and shaping a future where knowledge and character thrive and prosper and progress together, and where the head, heart, and the hand work in seamless harmony. Thank you. Namaste.
Thanks, sir. Kind of gratitude, heartfelt gratitude. Now we invite Professor Daumya Bhatt, Dean IQAC SRM IST Delhi NCR campus, to share vote of thanks. Professor Bhatt is senior academic and thought leader in value-based education, contributing to curriculum innovation, faculty development, and the integration of human values in higher education. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Upasana Devi. Distinguished Chief Guest, Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, Honorable Chairman, NEFT, NAAC, and NBA, respected dignitaries on and off the dais, esteemed speakers, panel members, and moderators, dear delegates, and participants joining us from across states in India, the EU and America, and the other parts of the world. It is indeed a pleasant privilege on behalf of SRM IST Delhi NCR campus, Ghaziabad, to propose the vote of thanks for this session of Inaugural of the 10th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education. This conference today, organized by SRM IST in association with AICT and AKGEC, mirrors the enduring encouragement and the vision of our Honorable Founder Chancellor Sir and the Honorable Pro-Chancellor Administration and the Honorable Pro-Chancellor Academics, whose guidance has shaped the academic and also the ethical spirit of this gathering. I sincerely acknowledge the association of the NCCIP and the UHV Foundation. Their guidance has served as a moral and intellectual compass, reminding us that sustainability is not only technological or a policy concern, but a deeply a human responsibility. As aptly expressed, true sustainability begins with values that sustain human conduct. I'm very grateful on behalf of the organizing committee to our chief guest, Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, the Honorable Chairman of NEFT, NAAC, and NBA, whose message as the chief guest of honor, reaffirmed the importance of value-driven quality frameworks in higher education worldwide. His message underscored that sustainability in education is not merely structural or procedural, but fundamentally moral, rooted in integrity, empathy, inclusivity, and long-term societal well-being from me to the global perspective of it. We were privileged by the presence and address of Professor S.D. Dandeji, the former director of IIT Kanpur, whose vision is very apt that matches the theme of this conference. We are indeed very grateful to sir for his presence and address. I place on record my thankfulness for the messages of His Excellency Shri Vishal Sharma, Ambassador of India to UNESCO, Paris, and Shri Lopan Lumpton Gyatso, the President of CLCS, Bhutan, whose insights enriched the conference with truly humanitarian perspective towards transformation, prosperity, and progress. Ganesh Bhaiya and Rajul Bhaiya, who were here, and I want to acknowledge and thank their support. And we have Kumar Sambhav Bhaiya and Gopal Babu Bhaiya, Upasna Didi, Ila Didi, and the others here. And indeed, it is our pleasant privilege to host them and meet them, interact, and learn a lot from them. We thank them for all the love, support, and guidance they have been rendering to the UHV team of the NCR campus. I acknowledge the presence of our speakers once again, whose thoughts have already enriched us, the discourse that has been going on. And I thank the moderators for facilitating meaningful and balanced deliberations, which the audience thoroughly enjoyed. I extend my respectful thanks to the Director of SRM ISD Delhi NCR Campus Ghaziabad, Dr. S. Vishwanathan, for his constant guidance and institutional support, which have been instrumental in organizing this conference here and turning our ideas into reality today. And his gracious hospitality has definitely enriched the conference experience of all of us. I place on record my sincere thanks to Dean of SRM IST Delhi NCR Campus, Professor Rajendra Prasad Mahapatra, for his thoughtful academic guidance and continuous encouragement to the UHV cell of our campus to conduct such activities throughout the planning and execution of this conference. He has been an immense source of support, and this has significantly strengthened the scholarly foundation of this international gathering. Special note of thankfulness to all our international and national participants who have come together across time zones to make this conference meaningful and inclusive. I extend my sincere thanks to the UHV team of SRM, both Chennai and NCR campus, especially the NCR coordinators, Dr. Pallavi Jain and Dr. Mahesh Kumar Gupta, Dr. Dadish, and so many others whom I can see here, Dr. Shalini, Dr. Kalpana, Dr. Savita, Dr. Jalak, Dr. Nidhi, Dr. Piyush, and probably Jivitesh is here. Thank you, all of you, for coming together, and this entire team for their diligence and commitment, both the front end and the back end execution. They have been working so hard to put this together. I want to really thank them on behalf of the management. I thank the organizing committee members, the others who have come together to put this conference together, the faculty, staff, and the volunteers whose dedication ensures the smooth conduction of the various sessions, and guided by the principles of universal human values, which align closely with global discussion on sustainability. As noted, sustainability is not about conserving resources, but also about maintaining balanced relationships among individuals, society, and the nature. And UHV, as discussed so many times, provides the moral compass, reminding us that lasting progress begins with personal responsibility and our own ethical choices. This conference has yet once again reinforced a simple but a very powerful understanding of universal human values from the bedrock of sustainable society. What we value today determines what we sustain tomorrow. Higher education, therefore, carries the responsibility of shaping not only skilled minds, but responsible human beings, and I deem that UHV is the moral foundation from values to vision, advancing India, inspiring the globe, and making Viksit Bharat a reality. With this thought, I conclude by recalling that education imparts the knowledge, but it is the values that give it the power to transform lives. And may this conviction continue to unite us from across cultures and nations. Namaste, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Heartfelt gratitude from the core of our heart. UNESCO reminds us that education must prepare learners not only for employment but for life, peace, and sustainable futures. With this, we express our sincere gratitude to all our 35 or 36 esteemed organizing and supporting partners. As we conclude, let us join hearts and voices in this shared reflection. Remember, friends, the world is one. Although we hail from different lands, we share one earth, one sky, one sun. Remember, friends, the world is one. Thank you all for your gracious presence. We wish you a deeply enriching and meaningful conference experience. Let's have a short 15 minutes break now and join Day 1, Session 2 for the Keynote 1. Theme is Vision for Value-Driven Education, and the speaker will be Professor Kumar Sambhaji. Thank you very much. Thanks.